I kind of did mine on a controversial topic. Sorry if I do offend anybody. Did mine on abortion. Couldn't really find anything else that would have either one side or the other. I myself have never really been one for abortion, but I do believe we have the freedom to choose whether or not we ourselves as women want to abort our child or not. We give the same decision to those who join the military services, meaning that they know that someone else's life is in their hands. Whether or not that person did something to them is another matter, but it's still all the same. Taking a life is taking a life, and people should understand exactly what they are doing. There have been studies in the country that at least under 40% of the women in the United States today use abortion as opposed to keeping a child. There are those that would say that the Bible states that killing is wrong. They've never been a scared teenager who made a wrong decision, or a woman who was just enough by her husband, who was basically the breadwinner. Most of them feel that this is a good decision for them. Why bring a child into this world when they're just going to have a horrible life? In some cases, this can be misconstrued for selfishness, but how can we allow a child herself to take care of another child when she herself can't even take care of herself? About 4 years ago, in 2006, the rate of teenage pregnancy rose. Almost after a decade of being consistent, it took a 4% raise in the rate of births and only a 1% in the rate of abortion. At least that's what it was in the article about in Yahoo News. According to their studies, there were 71 girls out of 1,000 between the ages of 15 through 19 who got pregnant, making it a 7% chance at that age group of becoming a single mother. You see that most of them had their babies rather than terminating the baby. They had the choice but still chose to keep their babies. The article did not go on to tell where the babies ended up or even where the parents ended up themselves. But it was sure that it was their bodies, and for that small percentage that did terminate the babies, they made the choice that was right for them, especially for those who would argue that the baby is already alive. There are many takes on when the fetus is actually alive. For those from a religious background argue that it is alive the moment it is conceived. Others will argue that once all the organs are in place and functioning, that's when it really is alive. And then others still would say that once the fetus is able to live outside the mother, that's when it is truly alive. At least that's what I read in an article on emedicine.com. It also goes on to say that there have been laws protecting those that cannot speak for themselves, such as those fetuses that would be aborted. In the case of Planned Parenthood versus Casey, where some of the abortion clinics in Pennsylvania were tried, at least 4 of them were, basically stated in one of their arguments that some fetuses never really actually reach that full period where they are able to live on their own. Example would be babies with brain damage or babies that were underdeveloped. Fortunately, it ended in a draw where none of the justices could come to an agreement about where to stand at such a junction, unless they themselves were to revoke what Roe v. Wade had done for the country. This matter had been fought for furiously by women's activist groups, that those who believe in freedom of choice. The matter of fact is that there aren't that many women actually killing their babies, and there are even fewer now because of the legalization of abortion who go to back alley abortionists, which are even more dangerous for them than those who are legalized to perform such tasks, because death is a higher factor with them. Even though death is a percentage in the doctors who are able to perform this as a legal matter, it is at least safer for them, less of a risk. Even though the ending results of abortion might be damaging on your own body, such as bladder and bowel injury, infection, sterility, and in some cases miscarriages later on in life, which I also read about in abortionfacts.com. Either way, I believe we have the choice to have abortions, just like we have the choice to have sex when we want, but we should be educated about it, because ultimately that is a choice we cannot take back.